Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Peter. Today I am particularly excited because today FX Airguns has just released the successor to the mighty FX Impact M3. Behold, the FX Impact M4. In this video I'll do a walkthrough of what we know about the M4 so far, and along the way I'll compare it to my M3. There are 12 changes that I want to mention, and at the end I'll do a conclusion and tell you what I think about these changes and if the M4 is one that will be a future gun in my collection. So buckle up, cause here we go. The first thing mentioned about the M4 is that there has been some unidentified changes to the internals to make the gun even more efficient, but there's no more info about this so far, but I guess we'll know pretty soon. But let's take a look at the gun and start from the rear. As you can see here, some work has been done to the back of the gun so that the probe is more accessible. And comparing it to the M3, this change will be quite helpful. The magazines looks different. They are now made from better materials with this metal insert, and all in all it should give the magazines a better functionality. The M4 will come with a bigger plenum that is now 75cc, whereas in the old one, the M3, it is 72, so it seems like there's a bit more power in the M4. One of the big changes you can see here is a thicker backbone. This gives the gun more rigidity and should make it more accurate. Produced with this dovetail, the scope rail can be pushed back and forth so it will fit different scopes with different eye reliefs. The next thing are these Picatinny pieces here in front of the gun. They are now mounted separately, so you can decide if you want to have them on there or you want to take them off. For some accessories it's easier to work on the gun if they have been removed. Like if you have a barrel tensioner system on your gun like I have on my M3. The side lever will now have a retainer so that it doesn't move when you lean the gun forward. This is particularly handy if you're shooting PRS and need the lever to stay open when you move between targets. The M4 comes with a new grip. It looks like it has much more volume and would fit better into your hand than the old one. This is the old grip, and looking at it, it looks much smaller than the new one. Here on my M3 I mounted a Ergo grip that is very thick, but it fits right into my hand. The M4 comes with the new trigger system called the QST, or the Quick Set Trigger System. It has 3 different settings: featherlight, standard, and a heavier pull for hunting, I assume. It should be easy to set, and as you can see here, it's easier to access. This is the standard trigger guard from the M3, and as you can see, there's no hole in the bottom so that you can access the screws on the trigger. On my M3 here, I have the Arca rail from Saber Tactical, and as you can see there is a hole in the bottom here, so that is probably where they got the idea from. And just for your information, if you have a Arca Swiss rail from Saber Tactical or from anywhere else that you have fitted to your M3, it will fit on the M4. One thing that I found to be a rather big thing is that on the M4 there will be no first stage regulator. Because the M2 regulator has this brass piston, it's supposed to handle the pressure much better than the old regulator. So therefore the first stage regulator should not be necessary. But it will be standard on the sub 12 airguns, and when I reach the conclusion at the end I'll go a bit more into detail about this decision. The Quick Tune system has had a slight overhaul, as you can see here, making it a bit easier to grab. But apart from that, it looks like it's the same as on the M3. Here you can see the specifications of the M4 in the different calibers. I'll leave it here for a moment for a closer look. One thing that I do notice is that it seems like FX are using the same liners. The M4 comes in different versions, as you can see here. It looks like they are all available in calibers from 177 and all the way up to 9mm, but I seriously doubt that the 177 will be available in 800mm. And now let's go into a conclusion. And sorry guys, I just can't help myself, because this first part of the conclusion has to go out to all the haters that has been already so active commenting on the material we have about the M4 so far. They say that the M4 is just the same as an M3, and you can just upgrade your M3. Well, part of that is completely true, but look at it like this. If you compare the first Impact that came in 2015 to the M4 that has just been released, these are very, very different guns. But be modular as this whole concept of the Impact is, you can upgrade along the way when some manufacturer comes out with new parts. But the way you should see the M4 is that now all these great things that has come out when the M3 has been out, they are now standard on the M4. So that is part of the story with the Impact. It is an evolving product that will just keep on getting better and better. But with that little comment to all those haters that we just love to love, let's go into the real conclusion. I have been following the evolution of the M3 pretty close, and as you can see on my gun, it's very different from when you receive an Impact M3 from standard. So from the parts that has been developed all over the world, I think it's very nice to see which of these upgrades has found their way into the M4. There are a few things that I'm very excited about, and of course one of them being the new trigger system, because as you can see here, I did this to my trigger in order to make it easier or lighter to pull by extending the trigger blade with this ball on it, and I'm actually pretty happy with this solution. But anyway, I'll be looking forward to testing the new trigger system. And then of course there's the new backbone rail. This gives more rigidity to the system because the backbone rail is thicker, and you know, yeah, a rigid gun is an accurate gun. One thing that I am a bit skeptic about is that they have removed the first stage regulator, because when you receive a sub 12 M4, it will have the first stage regulator, and that's because the pressure of the bottle is so much bigger than the pressure you would have on your regulator. And with me shooting the M3, I have the regulator at 110 bar, and having 300 bar bottles on my gun, that's a pretty big difference between the bottle and the regulator. So if the M2 can handle this much of a pressure difference, I'm not sure. So I would like to have seen the first stage regulator stay on there at least for 177. It doesn't make that much sense when you're shooting at higher reg pressures, of course, because there's not too much pressure difference for the regulator to handle. So fine by me, but in 177 I'm not sure it's such a good idea to leave the first stage regulator out. But I guess I'll find out when I receive my M4 at some point, and if it doesn't work, I'll just mount a first stage regulator. The last thing that I want to mention is the angled gauge mount here. I would love to have seen that find its way to the M4, but I guess that might be a matter of taste if you want to have your reg gauge placed there. But anyway, it's been prepared for us as you can see here, and mounting it on the M3 was a pretty easy thing to do. So I imagine it will be the same if you want to mount it to the M4. But the final conclusion of the M4 is that it looks very interesting, and I am looking very much forward to receiving one. So that's all I had to say about the new M4, and until next time, take care and shoot safe.